Wow. That's just bloody brilliant, isn't it? And then I can wait, can you swap any effect as well?
Yeah, any effect, any
Wow.
live effect, any plugin, any literally anything. Yeah,
They're
yeah,
just so ahead of the curve, aren't they?
yeah.
We recently released our Element series of sample packs, and a fellow got in touch a few days later who goes by the name of Pie, and he told me that he got all of the packs, and he'd made Ableton sort of extensions for all of them, and would we like to offer it to our live customers? Yes, absolutely. So he sent them over. I took a look, and I'm not an Ableton expert. I used to use it a lot, but it's been a few years. I certainly plan on going back to it in the near future, because I've just been missing out. So I was hoping that he could show me how to use them and how he made them. Okay, so if you're an Ableton expert, I'm not, Pi is, but if you're an Ableton expert, you probably know all the stuff that he showed me. So go ahead, grab your Ableton racks and enjoy. If you're not an Ableton expert like me, you might learn some really cool stuff from this video actually. What Pi showed me, like for instance, like the chain selectors. So he's got a rack of all the kicks from the foundation kicks, and you can scroll through all of them with just a single MIDI knob. And then on your bass channel, he's got another chain selector to scroll through different bass kits. So you can set up your kick and bass MIDI, and then you can, on just using two knobs, you can just scroll through endless combinations of kicks and basses until one just fits. So coming from like a Cubase sort of Logic style DAW, that's just, I don't know, that's not easy to set up, and I just think that's such a no-brainer way of making kick and bass. So thank you so much to Pi, all the work he's done, and for showing me through how he put it all together. All right, so thanks for meeting up with me today, Pi, to talk
Good, yeah.
talk me through the work that you've done, because you bought a couple of the new Elements packs, and you got in touch and said that you'd made some. Well, just tell me exactly what you've made.
The live packs essentially. So Ableton Live has a feature built in where you can basically bundle up any content in a project. So that can be presets, rack samples, an entire track even, with the sends and returns and master processing, all of that sort of stuff. You can save all of that up and then pack it into a special project,
Right.
which that you can then import. Other people or even yourself, if you're using multiple live versions. So I have Live 9 and Live 10.
Okay.
So I created the packs in Live 9 and I imported them into Live 10.
Yeah.
For my own use in Live 10. But yeah, it's basically a way to install all of that content, and then you can then dip into that. And so what I did with the Futurephonics packs is I created a project for each of the packs. I copied over all of the original audio files into the project, and then I set about compiling all of that audio material into instrument and drum racks to be used within Live.
Bundling.
So it's basically taking all of the audio you've created and presenting it in a way that is very hands-on and has good workflow in Live and stuff. So which we'll see when we dive into the packs. Like you'll see the kind of benefits of having the material in this way within Live.
Packaged up like this, and that's the ALP file.
ALP, yes. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Ableton Live Pack. So when you create the Live Pack, it's a .alp. It's an Ableton Live Pack.
Right. I feel like such a noob, like I used Live a lot, like up until like 5 or 6 or something, and then like I picked up 10 like a couple years ago with the intention of using it all the time, and I just don't kind of use it that much, but I'm getting back into it. So here's the bass trilogy in ALP and the Matrix Loops ALP files. So should it? How do I? What?
Okay, so what you need to do, so if you go to File in the top left,
Yep.
and then Install Pack. Yeah, and then you want to navigate to wherever the ALP files are on your hard drive.
Okay. Now I did already do this.
Yeah.
Previously, so but all I did
Okay.
was I just made these folders. That's all I did.
Yeah.
So let's just say that this is you just need to create a folder, right? And then
Yeah.
it installs these, and I've got them both here. I think.
Okay. So what you can say, let's open up the Trilogy project, because
Cool.
that's a bit simpler.
Yeah.
So you can see there. So I maintained the existing audio file structure, so that hasn't changed.
So these are
okay. Yeah.
These are the samples.
That's right. Yeah. Drag one in. Yeah.
Cool.
So you'll see there that they're numbered to just to maintain the same
file
structure.
Order. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you see there we've got a 1, 2, and a 3 for the different bass racks, and then you have a special one which is the 0, 0, and that's a rack of racks. So each of the bass types are in a drum rack, and then the 0, 0 rack is like a multi rack. So it's all of the basses loaded into one with the same macros mapped to the macros of the master rack, as it were.
Okay. The way it should be. Well, thanks so much for taking the time. So we're looking at the element space now. So would I just maybe just jam just for, should I put some MIDI in, just so we got
some MIDI in, yeah,
something to work with?
Your straight up, dugga, 3 notes.
Yeah. There we go. So. Oh, let's get a proper BPM going on here.
Yeah.
I'm a 140 guy, right? Okay, sounding lovely if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Right, and this is the heart of what you've done, isn't it? These macros.
The mapping, yeah.
So I could just sort of do this on my controller or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a. Yeah. And then just right. Yeah, that's cool, because generally the kind of selling point, I guess, is that I've kind of done the process. I've put the hours into getting these basses just bang on, But if you do want it just like a little bit clickier, a little bit, if you just want that envelope control, you've now got them. You were talking about like doing quick hot swaps. Why don't I get a kick on the go real quick? I would need to build a rack.
So in your second MIDI track there, so if you just add a simpler into there.
Yeah.
And then if you go to your
grab the kicks.
Kick sample folder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you just drag the Adrift one in there.
Yeah.
It's as good as any. Let's draw a MIDI note in so you can hear it. Yeah.
And then I can just hot swap the bass like really quickly.
No. So let's go to the kick first.
Yeah.
So no, I'll show you what I mean there. So if you hover over the sample window, you should see in the bottom right hand corner there's there's 2 arrows. If you click on that, that's the hot swap mode in live.
Yeah.
And that will jump in the browser. That will jump to wherever the current sample is, which in this case is the kick collections. And what you can do is while it's cycling, you can
audition.
If you hit enter, you can audition. So if you select the next kick down and hit enter, it will swap it in, but you'll stay in hot swap mode.
Right.
And you can see there's the icon on the bottom right of the sample window is red.
Yeah.
Just to show that you're still in hot swap mode. So you can cycle through and you can hit enter and you can audition kicks or whatever sample material.
Cool. Let me try that real quick.
Yeah. That's kind of like the traditional kind of like brute force method for sample selection. But what I did with the Foundation kicks rack was make it so that it contains all of the kicks, and then instead of having to hot swap them, you just turn a knob on in the rack. So yeah, you turn the macro and it cycles through them.
Nice.
It's just a bit easier.
Wicked. That's cool because I can feel the low end kind of coming and going, and then on a couple of those, I just felt it really come together with that bass. So that's great for just going quickly through that. So that's the hot swapping the kicks. And then if I come back to the bass, and then
okay. So what you can do there, so you can hot swap pretty much any sample or any plugin or native live device or instrument or whatever. So that it's the same icon. It's that like little round circle with the arrows in.
That one.
So if you click on that, for example, it's for the bass Trilogy, and that will take you to where. So if you click on the 0 0, so the bass Trilogy all, and then hit enter, that will swap it out. That'll take a little while because it's got to load more samples.
Right. Okay, so you can actually hot swap whole.
Like entire racks, yeah. So
and can you hot swap any effect as well?
Yeah, any effect, any live effect, any plugin, any literally anything. Yeah.
They're just so ahead of the curve, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
okay, so if you hit escape on your keyboard, that will come out of hot swap mode.
Great.
Yeah. So if you hit play again for the bass, then it calls up the elements bass first. So it's not going to be any different.
Yeah.
But you should see in the parent rack now. Yeah. The same controls, but you've got a selector knob in the macro 8 slot. And what you can do there. So where you're clicking before, it said like hide. So if you click on chain next to hide.
Yeah.
And what you can do here is in live you can have up to 128, I think it is, layers in the rack. And then you can have you've got the chain selector there, so you can tell it to
it's wherever this little thing is, right?
Yeah. So if you turn the knob, you can see it sliding around. So from up to about 40 is the bass 1, and then 40 to 80 is bass 2, and so on.
So I can see it changing elements.
Yeah.
Elements. Maybe I'm.
Yeah, it doesn't select the chain as you move along, unfortunately.
Right. Oh, and then so
what you can see there is the like the child rack being disabled. So
right.
That's just to save a bit on resources.
Gotcha.
So I think that the way that happens, it's still playing. So when you hit play, it plays all layers. It's just muted out the ones that aren't currently selected.
Cool. So, okay, so now if I go to Collider, it's only going to activate that when I go in the middle.
Yes,
And then when that one, it's only going to activate. Right, okay. So now I can I could even just link that up to my Livid, and I'm assuming. Wow. That's just bloody brilliant, isn't it? And then I can, so I could do the same thing with the kicks, as well.
Yeah. So the Foundation's kicks, like they're all in a rack in the same way. So each of the pads in the drum rack has a simpler on it, and or does it? No, it's I've done it as an instrument rack. Yeah. So each kick is in a simpler. And then that simpler is in a chain.
Gotcha.
And then it has the same sample selector mode.
Right.
I think it's something that are you familiar with Ilgate?
No, but I love the name.
He's like a bass music producer.
Right.
He's kind of he's a real live nut. He's been. But like he came up with this method of using the selector to sweep through samples.
Right.
So you can create. So you'll see actually in the Foundations. I put all of the drums into like a meta rack. So you've got like 3 drum pads for closed hi hats, a couple of snares, open hi hat, crashes, all the other precious metal percussion. So that all exists as like as like one giant rack, and then on each of those pads you can sweep through to select what sample you want for that pad. Yeah, and yeah, that's not something I've created. That's something that is, I think, it is originally attributed to Il Gates. This is something that he came up with. Yeah.
Well, you created it for these packs, and that's just so awesome. And you know, I'm always talking about or dreaming of ways to kind of get off the mouse. So this is the
ALP. Yeah.
So okay, so this is
so
where I
do
install it.
So you want to do okay, no, you say you can do it from within Live. Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay, so blah 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 blah. All right, so I'll make a new folder called Foundations Racks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I want you to show me how I can flick through kick drums with
Okay, so if you go to your kick channel.
Yep, that one.
On there. So you might as well just delete that simpler. So yeah, if you go into Foundation Kick Drums, and then Foundations Kick Collection Simpler. I only included Sampler because that's what I started with, and then I remembered that not everyone has it, so. But I'd already done all the work for it, so might as well include it.
Might as well include it.
And also, if you are a Suite user and you have Sampler, it's probably the better choice anyway.
Sure.
Because you've got a bit more control over the amp envelope settings. Like the curve parameter is freely adjustable and mappable, which I think I have mapped on the sampler version. So if you're just trying to refine like the tail of the kick, you know, if you want to reduce it a little bit, then you've got a bit more control over the curve of the envelope. But that's just you know, the cherry on top, as it were.
Sure. Okay. All right. So I've still got my four kicks there. So that's good already. Yeah. And so if I come in here, I apologize to all the more experienced Live users who are watching me click around at this ghastly rate. But okay. So if I hook these up now, I'll probably just do a chain selector for now. Yeah. And that's all the kicks from 0
to how I think I can't remember. It's 52. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay, and then if I do this selector, I think I've already done it. Okay, so now I've got all the kicks and all the basses on 2 notes. Okay,
so you've got all of the foundation kicks and the three trilogy basses.
Okay, so let me just try this real quick. Disappointed if I don't. So try this. So like right there, I just felt the low end just come together, you know. And I mean, doing this in Cubase would be such a massive bollock. You know, it could easily take 5 minutes of just lining stuff up, and there is no quick and easy way to do it. Or I'm sure there is, but it's definitely not as intuitive.
No, and the good thing about having things set up like this is once you either do the work yourself or you find somebody else who's done the work and you take their rack, you can very quickly make your own. Yeah. And then so you know, if you already have a library of your own favorite kicks, 5 or 100 kicks or whatever, you can quite easily just swap them all out. Yeah.
So you could just be kind of constantly evolving kind of rack that you keep hot swapping. Maybe there's a kick in here that you don't like. I mean, they are all perfect, so that's not obviously possible in this one. But you know, maybe there's one kick which you're just not using as much. You think, hey, I'll just swap it out. So by the end of it, you could just have your sort of best of kicks in just one final rack. It's just so good. Oh, it's just brilliant. When I do kick and bass in Cubase, your ears adjust so quickly that within seconds, you know, it's hard to tell if you're on the money, I find, you know, and to just be able to kind of move them at such a high rate, just almost at random. And I can imagine you do it for a couple of minutes, and then maybe you would make one selection So say I just landed right now on a really good combo. Is there a way that I could? Okay, so is there a way that I could earmark the combo that I've just done and put it to one side as a sort of a maybe combo, and then continue searching? Or is that asking a bit too
Well,
much?
you could always you could oh, what can you do? So let me see if I can do it on here.
A sort of a creme de la creme. Or what if I was to? Oh wait, could hang on.
Well, actually, what you can do
I could just
actually. So I've
copy
just
this
tried it on
to a
my.
new one.
Yeah, you can. So let's say you like
I think I've just done
where is
it.
it?
The
Yeah, so you just
Alistair
drag the
kick,
you just drag it out. Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And I like that as well because now that I've kind of, in a sense, lost the ability to quickly flick away from these
Yeah.
two ones. That's a way of kind of sort of committing to coming back to it later. So I could just, I guess, color those both blue or something, and then find another
Yeah.
two combos, and
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
it's just, it's really great stuff. And this is just, and you've done this for the basses, kicks, precious metals, and snares and claps.
Yeah.
Um, so
So yeah, the so each so in the
there you go. Yeah.
yeah, snares, claps, precious metals have their own independent racks. So if you just want to have snares, let's say you've got hats and cymbals elsewhere, you just want snares and claps, you can load that in. Or if you want like the full complement, there is a rack for all of the drums.
Nice. It's starting to take me back to the Tristan class which is the first time
Yeah.
I heard of saw the chains being used, but not being much of a live user at the time. I kind of it's still a bit new to me. Well, look, I mean, I just can't thank you enough
Yeah.
for taking the time out to doing these. I mean, what a great way to interact with the samples, and what a great little bonus for anyone
Yeah.
who's bought the pack. So
Yeah. And like with the Matrix loops pack, so like each of the loops has their own kind of like a vanilla rack. It's kind of when you play the clip back, it sounds exactly like the audio does. But then for each of them, I created sort of a creative version.
right.
So that has some live devices in with some fun macro assignments. So
Yeah, I saw that.
so when you play the loop back without touching anything, it sounds just the same. But yeah, once you start twisting a few knobs, you can get those like metallic, Tristan kind of
Yes.
pitched like looping drums. I've got something, you twist a knob and you get a bit of get some pan delays and some rate reduction.
And
So yeah,
that is with
you can take
these.
these. Yeah. So if you go to the Matrix loops,
Right.
so that's just so that project just loads up two channels with the just like some the first of each of the bonus and the standard loops, and this is what I'd call like the vanilla rack.
Right.
It's just there's no creative processing on it. When you press play, it'll play back exactly, and you can use the macro assignments to just adjust basic things like the amp envelope, and you can do some of like the like stuttering and kind of glitchy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you do,
It's down here,
so
isn't
if
it? Let me
my
take
opinion,
a quick
yeah.
listen to this. So seem to have double mapped that one. That one wants to be on that. That one was no, that one. Okay.
So you got to you got to get the loop compressed down and the loop length. You got to play around with to get that kind of like a glitchy repeating metallic vibe.
Yeah. Sounds amazing.
So yeah, you got like glitch drums right out the gate. But then if you want a little bit more, or you kind of, I kind of included the creative racks just to highlight, what you can do with just a few of the like real basic live effects and a little bit of macro programming.
Oh, is that these?
Yes. So actually, so that's just so the ones that are in the drum rack and the slicing, they're like the master templates, as it were. So like if somebody wanted to slice up a loop they have on their hard drive, and they want the same macro assignments that I have on there, then they can use they add the slicing preset into I think it's in the user library area. I think there's a folder called defaults, and in there'll be a folder called slicing. If they copy that into the slicing folder, it will then show as an option. So when you have an audio file and you right click and you do slice to MIDI, you get some options, how you want to slice it, and that preset will come up in that list. So if you want to slice a loop in like my style,
right,
that you can do that.
So this doesn't come with drums.
Yeah. So no, it doesn't come with drum. But what you can do there. So if you
and so I'll drag this in here.
Drag that on there.
And then hot swap
to the drum rack, to like the nested rack. Gotcha. Do there, and then you need to navigate to wherever it is on your hard drive.
Which was
so matrix loops 140. Yeah. So if you go into the racks there.
Yeah. Okay.
And then just pick any one. It doesn't matter.
Amazing, man. Jesus.
Yeah. And then hopefully, when it transfers over, so you'll see that in like the upper rack.
Yeah.
All of the mapping has carried over.
Okay. So, so how do I get some audio?
If you just draw in a MIDI clip, one bar, and then just do a 16th note, starting on slice 1, and then going all the way up to slice 16.
Okay.
Yeah. Like most of the loops have been sliced at 16th intervals.
Right. Yep. Cool. So this is all 16 slices now.
Yeah.
So. Okay, and then right, I'll lose my MIDI mapping from before, and I'll remap to.
So if you scroll like to the right.
Let me take a listen to that quickly. Wow. Hear this. Oh yeah. I think that's all we got time for, but just thank you so much for your help. Like, this is going to be just so awesome for anyone who's bought the packs. And anything which makes it quicker and easier, I think I'm just all about. What you've set up here is just making it so much easier.
Because they can be used across the versions. Like even if people are using other DAWs, they can maybe pick up a copy of intro. In fact, they've got they're running a sale at the moment, like lots of software companies are because of the lockdown. So they're running a 30% off at the moment. So maybe people they think they can more easily justify picking up the intro, or they pick up some gear that has one of the free light copies. They can use this and they can copy the I've got no problem. I've copied the methods from elsewhere, so there's no reason why people can't do the same and make them work for them. But I think if people aren't aware of this, then maybe they will be now. They'll kind of start to understand the power.
Dude, thanks so much, and let's catch up soon. Yeah,
indeed.
Okay. Cheers, Pie.
Take it easy.
Thanks.
See ya.